one of those things where you never think that it will happen to you or your family.
Right now on Denver 7 News at 5, a Fountain police officer fighting for his life after falling 40 feet from a bridge this week. For the first time since the fall, we're hearing from his family.
And hundreds of people are missing in Colorado.
There was big lack of help in missing persons. So I just decided to start volunteering.
Meet the woman taking matters into her own hands following the death of a loved one.
Plus, be on the lookout for this man. Police say he's wanted for what he's been doing inside businesses near Park Meadows Mall.
I told them to shoot it down. They said to me, let's wait till the safest place to do it.
New developments today on that Chinese spy balloon that coasted over the U.S. this week. Denver 7 News at 5 starts now. A Fountain police officer remains in critical condition this weekend after he fell 40 feet off a bridge.
Officer Julian Becerra was trying to arrest a carjacking suspect Thursday evening.
3 people were arrested that night on felony charges relating to the incident, and at this point, it's unclear how Officer Becerra fell off the bridge, but he has been hospitalized ever since, surrounded by his loved ones.
That's right. Denver 7's Christian Lopez spoke to his family for the first time since that fall.
You always have it in the back of your head if you have a friend or family member in that field that it's a possibility.
Worst fears became a reality for Fountain police officer Julian Becerra's loved ones after he was injured in the line of duty on Thursday, falling 40 feet from a bridge while trying to apprehend a carjacking suspect after a high-speed chase.
It's one of those things where you never think that it will happen to you or your family.
We sat down with David Alderman, Officer Becerra's brother-in-law, who says he remains in critical but stable condition in the ICU.
He's a police officer, obviously, and his wife, my sister, is a nurse, and people like that. They need our help and support.
Alderman says his sister Katie and Officer Becerra have been together for years. They have a 1-year-old son.
Just a fantastic dad. I've actually gotten to learn a lot from him as a dad, and a great husband as well. Just always there for his family and never complaining, and just a fantastic guy.
During a press conference Friday, the Fountain Police Department said it's still looking into how Officer Becerra fell from the bridge.
Whether it was a fall, a trip, a push, a slip, we really don't know. We're reviewing all the evidence that we have at the moment. He's resting with his family and other Fountain police officers there. We will be there around the clock in some form or fashion.
Family members are raising money to help Officer Becerra and his wife, and they're hoping for a speedy recovery.
Please keep him and his family, us, in your thoughts and prayers, and thank you so much for all the support.
Reporting in Fountain,
He's a tough guy and he's going to get through this.
Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
David started a GoFundMe for Officer Becerra and his family. You can scan the QR code on your screen if you'd like to donate. The money will go towards supporting the family while the officer recovers.
All right, have you seen this man? Parker police say he's accused of sexual assault after grabbing a spa employee inappropriately. Now, according to investigators, he went into a spa January 25th, asked for a consultation, but once in a room alone with the worker, he allegedly pulled down his pants, asked the employee to commit a sexual act, saying he would pay her. When she said no, police say he grabbed her. Now, police describe him as a white man around 6 feet tall, in his 50s, with skin tags and moles covering his face. They say he may have been involved in similar incidents near the Park Meadows Mall, so if you recognize him, contact Parker Police.
Today marks 1,000 days since Suzanne Morphew went missing. The 49-year-old went for a bike ride on Mother's Day in 2020 and never came home. A year after her disappearance, her husband was arrested on multiple charges, including first-degree murder. Those charges have since been dropped. To date, her body has not been found. And today is Missing Persons Day right here in Colorado. Right now, hundreds of people are missing, and many of them have been missing for more than a year.
Denver 7's Brandon Richards shows us how a Lafayette woman is helping many of those families by turning her own personal grief into action.
According to the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, nearly 600 people in the state have been missing for at least a year. They include people from all ages and backgrounds. And behind every face is a devastated family waiting for answers.
When I think of that many people missing, it's really hard.
Brittany Hartman runs Justice Takes Flight, a nonprofit made up of volunteers who try to help families find their missing loved ones.
Missing persons don't get an advocate. They have the officer that's on their case, but they don't have anything else. So that's where we come in. We try to help support the families however they need.
It all began after Brittany's 2-year-old niece, Gabriella, was murdered. And so she began attending grief support groups, where she met grief-stricken families with missing loved ones.
They said that there was big lack of help in missing persons. So I just decided to start volunteering, and that's how I started on this journey.
Brittany and volunteers make flyers and spread the word about missing people on social media. In some cases, they even conduct searches themselves along with their dogs.
As of this year so far, we've helped 7 cases.
That's on top of the 37 cases they helped with last year. Brittany says no matter the outcome, families are relieved to finally have answers.
Even if it's not the best circumstances and it's the worst case scenario, they're just so grateful.
And she's thankful for being able to turn her grief of losing her niece into something that can help others.
All the people that we've helped, it's because of her. So in a way, she's being carried through our memories and our actions, and she's touching a lot of lives.
In Denver, Brandon Richard, Denver 7.
Brandon, thank you so much. All right, 4 people are in the hospital after a car crash in Aurora this morning. Police say it happened just before 5 a.m. at Hampton Avenue and Uravan Street near Tower Road. 2 people are in critical condition but are expected to survive. Police have not said what caused that crash or how many vehicles were involved. And we're still waiting to hear what caused a couple house fires today. The first happened overnight at a multifamily home in Inglewood near Lee Howe Avenue and Delaware Street. No injuries reported there and no word on what caused the fire. And in Lakewood, a fire broke out inside a garage at a home around 9 this morning. Firefighters say everyone got out safe, thankfully, including the family dog. West Metro Fire are investigating what caused that fire.
Making national headlines today, the Chinese balloon that flew across the country this week has now been shot down off the East Coast. The Pentagon says the balloon was actually being used for surveillance, despite China's claim that it was a weather balloon.
A weather balloon. All right, the balloon was first spotted over Montana, one of America's 3 nuclear missile silo fields, before heading east.
As ABC's Phil Lipoff shares, this is not the first time one of these have been spotted.
The United States bringing down a Chinese balloon that was traveling across the United States. Earlier today, spotted over parts of North and South Carolina.
I ordered the Pentagon to shoot it down on Wednesday as soon as possible. They decided that the best time to do that was as it got over water outside within the 12-mile limit. They successfully took it down.
In response, the FAA temporarily closing airspace for parts of the 2 states, issuing a statement that reads in part, the FAA has paused departures and arrivals to support the Department of Defense in a national security effort. Despite China claiming it's a civil aircraft blown off course, U.S. officials insist that is not the case.
But the key here is we don't know what it's looking for. Is it taking pictures? Is it doing signals intelligence where it's intercepting communications? But the thing that's perplexing here is that the Chinese have the ability to do these things from space where they wouldn't be violating U.S. sovereignty.
On Friday, Secretary of State Blinken postponing his trip to China set for next week, saying now is not the time to meet.
I made clear that the presence of this surveillance balloon in U.S. airspace is a clear violation of U.S. sovereignty and international law.
The Chinese Foreign Ministry saying, we respect that. Pentagon officials claiming the balloon has a large bay of technology attached underneath it, about the size of 3 buses, adding it was maneuverable. Phil Lipoff, ABC News, New York.
Pretty interesting. All right, next at 5, a Denver family nearly loses everything in a fire.
Thank you for being there for us.
Yeah.
You were there when we needed the support behind us.
After a Denver 7 Gives shopping spree, they're getting a fresh start. How you at home got them back on their feet.
And fluff and fun. It's Golden's weekend and Golden this weekend, an event paying tribute to man's best friend. Next.
Yay, one of my favorite events, and I'm glad the weather held out for it. Afternoon highs in the 50s today. We have partly cloudy skies out there now. I'll let you know how long this mild weather will stick around before our next chance for snow. Coming up.